All right. Hi, I'm Rob Carson. I'm the host of the Blue Team Warrior podcast. And with me, I have Asaad. Asaad, please tell us about yourself and what do you do?
Yeah, thanks, Rob, for having me today. I'm Asaad Morman. I'm the founder, president, and CEO of Cyber Dojo Solutions based in Fredericksburg, Virginia. Um, Basically, been a cybersecurity expert since probably around about 2010 per se. Started out doing basically defensive operations and kind of got a little bit bored or stagnant and went into the offensive side of the house. While being in the offensive side of the house, I kind of started getting the kind of inclination to start thinking more and more out of the box, being around different people, different industries. I saw that there was a need to basically be more proactive versus reactive. That allowed me to kind of start focusing more on kind of like automatic offensive operations involving different tool sets, different exercises, different teams coming in, constantly building up an environment that is constantly testing against threat vectors that are seen, not seen, found, and not found. During that tenure, I saw a need where people were starting to start migrating more toward working from home, working remotely, because they wanted to, kind of minimize cost and things like that to have kind of like a stand-up building or brick and mortar building. They saw that a lot of work was being able to be done from home or from, anybody's personal location per se. That in turn built up a lot of morale within teams. It built loyalty, and people just really enjoyed companies that fostered that type of environment. It also introduced a lot of obstacles in that environment. Everybody's home doesn't have, the enterprise equipment, the firewalls, the routers and switches that people can come in and basically manage and configure to build up that 360 coverage for cybersecurity. So with that being said, I basically created Cyber Dojo Solutions to kind of involve not only the implementation part of the cybersecurity business, but also the education piece.
Awesome. And you forgot to mention you're a fellow Marine. That's very important,
Yes.
with better hair. Awesome. So tell us the time that you or members of your team were Blue Team Warriors. When we're helping somebody out.
One of the situations was we was working for an agency, and they wanted to basically incorporate a lot of the things that OPM used to do. We all remember the OPM breach
Oh yeah.
earlier on
Which
in
one?
the century. The one earlier on in the century, where
Okay.
basically everybody and their mom got the letter saying, hey, OPM was breached, your information may have been compromised, such and such. We're going to offer you free credit monitoring and all that other stuff like that. This agency had to be on a task that originally they had 2,500 people, and now all of a sudden they had to incorporate an agency of 20,000 people.
Ooh.
With that being involved, you had to basically not only retrain people on how best practices are of today, but you had to weed out a lot of the bad habits that were the best practices of yesteryear. With that being said, we started incorporating different programs that came up with that proactive environment. My team from ICS Next, Test Consultants, Broadleaf, Deloitte, all of these companies basically came in and we built up a SOC that was more proactive. We was constantly, creating alerts for the blue team. We were constantly creating alerts for threat hunting and start focusing more on threat vectors from nation state actors. We started building up cyber engineering teams where we actually came in and configured tools that better suited the need for an intelligence community agency. All that collaboration is always ongoing. It's always being built. We kind of created a scalable environment that allowed us to, even though it may not be in the need right now, when it does come in need, you can still build on top of that.
Okay. Awesome. And I bet you no one said thank you for keeping the bad guys away, for not having, that that's
I,
awesome.
yeah, I think the thank you for me is I
Yeah.
don't get fired. So
Hey,
that's
there
a
you
thank
go.
you for me.
I like it. I like it. Cool. And who else do you know outside your company you'd like to recognize or give a shout out to as about for being an outstanding member of the blue team?
So I would like to give a shout out to Anthony Williams. He was actually my mentor into the offensive security space. He
Okay.
was the person that taught me the certified ethical hacker certification. Um, he also had his own business called Iron Guard, and basically he created kind of like an internship for people who wanted to come in and basically say, hey, I want to be a pen tester, I want to be part of the red team, I want to do the blue team, I want to do this and this and this. And he created that internship that kind of built people who was beginner, didn't know anything, all the way up to advanced level where you was actually creating your own scripts, creating your own exploits and things like that. With his tutelage, it allowed me to basically get my first cybersecurity job. And I like to thank Dr. Wesley Phillips. He's also my chief operating officer, which is
Okay.
also, and he was also my professor in college. He
Awesome.
got me my first real IT job where I was actually getting paid, making money, getting benefits to support my family. With bringing him in as my chief operating officer, I mean, it's been wonderful. I mean, he goes out here and builds programs for me. He teaches, he runs our educational division of it, where we actually could go in and different companies. If you want to get certified, you can get certified. If you want to learn this, learn this. All of that, we build tailored programs depending on the needs of the customer. There are so many people that I could thank, my entire team at Cyber Dojo, my VP of Cyber Operations, Nico Smith, my Chief Information Security Officer, Dion White, my Chief Information Officer, April Morman, my Chief Technology Officer, Ramon Brooks, all the way down to our executive assistants, Anika Morman and Torlicia Mitchell. All of them have been instrumental in building Cyber Dojo solutions to actually be competitive in this market. We teamed up with different companies like Test Consultant, Elizabeth Nguyen, Brian Frankenberry. Those people at Test Consultants are amazing. If you want to go to anybody, you want to know compliance and stuff like that, that's their wheelhouse, and they kind of come into play with us on that part.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Cool. Well, hey, Asaad, thank you so much for your time, and I really appreciate it.
I really